Assalamu Alaikum. Welcome to Programming Concepts. I'm Sayyid Naveed Abbas, and in this video, we're going to create an installation setup for Visual Studio project. So we're going to use Advanced Installer for this purpose. So let's get started. Open Advanced Installer and create a new project. We're going to select Installer, Visual Studio Application, and Create. Here you can specify the project name. So I'm going to use Sultani Metal Crafts. Here you can write your company name or whatever. I'm going to use Programming Concepts. Next, you can select whether you want an MSI setup or executable setup or whatever. Here they are faded out and we can use them, but we can change them in the project later on. So I will show you how to do that. So we go to next. Here you can save a project where you want to save it. So I'm gonna select desktop. I'm gonna place my project here. Set up project Sultani Metal Crafts. I'm gonna name it Sultani Metal Crafts. And here you can place the output files here, like the output of the main executable setup or the MSI setup that's going to be used to deploy your project on your client's computer. So I'm going to next. Then you can choose the Visual Studio solution. So for this we are going to use an existing project, which is a Windows Forms application. So I'm going to use that. 2022 here, and we need to just select the solution file here. Next, now we're going to select the debug configurations. We can also select build selected configuration before proceeding. So if you haven't built your project after making some recent changes, then you can select this. So the setup is created for the latest build. So the next. It will take some time to build the project, so don't worry. Okay, now this is it. So this project is actually using Crystal Reports and SQL Server Database. So I'm not going to include my database here. So I'm going to select all and deselect the SQL Server Database files for now. And I'm going to select everything else. Next. And next. And yes, we're going to launch the application after install. Next. Here you can choose the interface of your installation dialog boxes. We can also change them later in the project. I will show you how to do that. Now here we can add the license agreement, which can be any rich text file. I don't have any. So if you have any license agreement, then you can add it here and finish. Now the project has been created. Name this version 1.0.0 publisher Programming Concepts. You can also fill these text boxes for more details, and here you can place the readme file, and here you can place the icon. So I'm gonna select an icon that I created. Desktop, and Sultan. So this icon will appear in control panel icons. here you can select disable, modify, disable, repair, disable, remove. So if you disable this, the control panel wouldn't show you to modify this product and also repair and remove icons. And okay, that's it. Now we're gonna go to the files. In this folder, this is the folder where your DLLs and executable files reside, and we're gonna add a new folder here, and I'm gonna add my SQL Server database files. Sultani, where is this? Sultani 2022, Sultani Metalcrafts, and data folder. Okay, in this folder I have kept my database files, and yes, of course, I have mentioned my connection string for SQL Server database as this folder. Like in this folder, this is the main executable file, and in this directory there's another directory which is called data, and inside this data directory there are the files. So if you make any changes here, you have to change the connection string of your database. So I'm going to add another file which is going to be the Crystal Report files. Here I have the folder which is saying the reports. I'm going to add the whole folder here, and I'm going to delete the CS files. So keep the RPT files, which are the Crystal Reports files, and delete the C# files because we don't need them. Okay, now this data folder, I don't want to replace this data folder if it already exists on your client's machine. So this is because if your client has already installed this software, like if you are installing it for the second time or the third time, then his data that he has entered already in the previous version of the software, that may wipe out if you don't make these properties work like according to the situation. Here it asked me to upgrade my project, so I upgraded it so that I can use these properties. So here in properties I have operations, and here I can select do not overwrite existing files. So if user has already its database files here in his computer, then they won't be deleted. And okay, now we go to the prerequisites here. And we go to the feature based prerequisites and new package prerequisite. Here I have prerequisites folder. Okay, we're gonna include Crystal Report Runtime 32-bit because this software that I created is 32-bit, and the Crystal reports that are being used in it are of course 32-bit. So for this we need to install Crystal Report Runtime 32-bit version on client's computer. I'm gonna add this. Next, a new package prerequisite, and I'm gonna select Visual C Redistributable. So this is because if you don't install this on your client's computer, then you wouldn't be able to install SQL Server or SQL Local DB. So these are necessary. Okay, here you cannot add the setup of SQL Server installer. It doesn't support that. So you have to install that separately on client's computer. Okay, next we go to themes. Now we can change the theme of the software. So you can see there are many that come with advanced installer, and we can also customize them. For now, we go to modern and water fairy, red illusion. Okay, this will suit this. Here you can see it says programming concept, Sultani Metalcraft, but it doesn't appear entirely here. So it's some kind of time, some kind of cropped here. So I want to edit this theme. So how to customize this theme? We select this as current theme. Okay, now we go to the more options. You can see we can add the logo icon here. This will appear here. So I'm gonna double click here, and I'm gonna add the icon here. Come on, here, and then we have company logo that will appear here. So I'm gonna add a PNG file. So here it doesn't support .ico file that we added just before this. So we have to choose any PNG file or JPG file or JPEG file. Okay, I think I don't have one. Okay, that's good. Okay, that's it. Now we can go and see settings here. Okay, this says use enhanced user interface. So always like installing, uninstalling, and maintenance. So I'm gonna select this. So every time the user installs or user uninstalls the software, it will be displaying this dialog box that we created here. Okay, now we go to dialogs, and here we can customize the interface. So here you can see Sultani Metal Crafts. This craft is not actually appearing properly. So I'm gonna edit this, edit dialog, upgrade the project, and sorry, now it's nice. I'm gonna take this setup here. This is the toolbox that you can use the tools to add text or anything else you want to. Okay, I think that's good. Okay, this dialog, okay, they're all good. Okay, now it looks nice. Maintenance. Now the changes have been applied to all the dialog boxes. So I'm going. Okay, that's good. Okay, I think we are done. Yes. Okay, now we're gonna build this project. Okay, one second. We go to the build options here, and we select the folder that we want to put our executable file. Okay, we go to set a project, and we create a new folder. Setup files. Select, and here I'm gonna name it. So it's gonna be Sultani Metal Crafts Setup, and name for executable Sultani Metal Crafts Setup. And here we're gonna choose the icon. Okay, the icon we chose at the first stage was for control panel. This icon is for the installer itself. That's done. Okay, now we go to home and we build the project. It's being built. Please wait. And come on. It's creating executable file and it's about to, yes, done. Okay, now it has exported our executable file on this directory. So this we can click here to open that file folder here. Okay, now I'm gonna install this software to show you how it works. Okay, this image right here is not appearing well because it was too large. Next. So it says typical install, custom install, complete install. So we go for complete install. No, sorry, go back. We're gonna install it on D drive because it won't work on program files, because if you put the database on program files, your software wouldn't be able to read the files from there. You have to keep it somewhere else, in your user directory or on some other part of your hard disk, like other drives. Like I'm gonna put it on D drive. Yes. Complete install. Install. So now it's extracting prerequisite softwares. So this is the dialog box for Crystal Reports, and actually I have already installed this software, so I'm not going to install it again. I have the 64-bit version, that is for the development version, so I don't need 32-bit version. Now it's computing the space requirements. Please wait. Okay, I don't want to install, I will cancel it, but for your client you will have to install this. Okay, next it says to install Microsoft Visual C++. Again, I have already installed them and I don't need them, so I'm going to close it. Yes. Now it's going to install the rest of the software. Yes. Come on, it's taking longer. Okay, now it says SAP Crystal Reports Runtime engine for .NET version was not installed correctly or blah blah. But we want to continue installation. Yes. Okay, now it's finished, and it has also created the desktop shortcuts. Let me show you. Here we go. Okay, it's running. Okay, it's working nicely. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. Take care. Allah Hafiz. Keep learning.